There are four types of GST: SGST, CGST, IGST and UTGST. Insurance commission, it is 15,000. So TDS will be 5%. Then insurance commission. How much is the insurance commission? Here it is 15,000. Aggregate turnover means we have to find out the supply. Hello everyone, I am Pragati, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce and Business Administration, Vidyashram First Grade College, Mysuru. In the last session, I have discussed about the topic Advance Tax and Interest. In today's session, I am going to discuss about the topic TDS and GST. So, what is TDS? TDS is tax deducted at source. TDS means is a method of collection of tax based on the preliminary estimation of current income. So, taxpayer pays the tax on the income of previous year which is delayed until the year has been completed. So, it may gives room for hiding the tax and tax evasion by the taxpayer. So, government has introduced TDS system for prescribed percentage of tax on the income. Now, we will see the prescribed percentage of TDS rates. For salaries, there is no cutoff, means there is no minimum. We have to apply the tax slab. Others, it is not applicable. Then, premature withdrawal from EPF, it is 50,000. If it is more than 50,000, TDS will attract for 10% for individual and HUF. For others, it is not applicable. Then, interest on securities. If it is more than 10,000, it is 10%. Then, dividends, 2,500, 10%. Then, interest on banks, it is up to 10,000, no TDS. More than 10,000, 10%. For senior citizens, bank from 1/4/2018, it is up to 50,000, no TDS, 50,000 and above, 10%. Then, winning from lotteries, it is up to 10,000, no TDS will attract. If it is more than 10,000, 30%. Then, winning from horse race, up to 10,000, no TDS, more than 10,000, 30%. Contractor, single or yearly, it is 30,000 or 1 lakh. For individual and HUF, it is 1%. For others, it is 2%. Next, transporter with PAN as above, same. It is 30K or 1 lakh, 1% and 2%. Insurance commission, it is 15,000. So, TDS will be 5%. If it is more than 15,000, TDS will be 5%. Then life insurance policy, up to 1 lakh, no TDS, 1 lakh and above, 1%. Then commission on lottery, it is up to 15,000, no TDS, 15,000 and above, 5%. Then commission on brokerage, up to 15,000, no TDS, 15,000 and above, 5%. Then rent, land and building, furniture and fixtures, it is 1,80,000. So, it is 10%. Then rent by individual or HUF from 1/6/2017, 50,000 per month. For individual and HUF, 5%. Others, it is not applicable. Then rent of plant and machinery or equipments, it is 1,80,000 means up to 1,80,000, no TDS. More than 1,80,000, it is 2%. Then immovable properties up to 50 lakhs. then it is 1% TDS. Then professional, technical, call centers up to 30,000, there is no TDS. If more than 30,000, it is 10%. Then immovable property compensation, it is 2.5 lakh, it is 10%. Now we will solve the problem on TDS. During the financial year 2019-20, find out the TDS in the following cases if the recipient is an individual that in resident of India. So, commission received as a lottery agent rupees 20,000. Then lottery winnings rupees 2 lakhs. Dividend, it is domestic company. Domestic company means it is exempted, Indian company. Then winning from horse race 2 lakh, winning from another horse race 20,000, insurance commission 15,000. So interest on bank deposits 30,000, interest on debenture rupees 40,000. Now we will see the solution. Commission received as a lottery agent. How much is the commission received? It is 20,000. What is the TDS rate for commission received? Commission received, it is up to 15,000, it is exempted. Means more than 15,000. Here commission received how much? 20,000. It is more than 15,000. So it is attracted TDS. So 20,000 into 5%. So it is 1,000. Then lottery winnings. Lottery winnings minimum how much? Minimum it is 10,000. Means 10,000 and above TDS will attract. Here lottery winning 55,000. So TDS will be 30%. 55,000 into 30%, it is 16,500. Then dividend from domestic company. Dividend from Indian company or domestic company, it is exempted. So it is exempted. Next, winning from another horse race, it is 2,000 they have given in the problem. So this 2,000 means it is less than 10,000. Maximum limit, it is 10,000 for horse race. So it is less than 10,000. So TDS will not come. So it is nil. Then insurance commission. How much is the insurance commission? Here it is 15,000. It is not exceeds 15,000. So TDS will not come. So maximum limit it is 15,000. TDS is nil. Then interest on bank deposit 30,000. Minimum for bank deposit it is 10,000. If it is 10,000 and above, TDS will attract. So it is 30,000. 30,000 into 10%, 3,000. Then interest on debentures. So it is 40,000 into 10%. So it is 4,000. Total will be 84,500. That is total TDS payable. Now we will go through the second problem. Ascertain the amount of TDS from the following income or receipts during the financial year 2009-10. Lottery winnings of rupees 1 lakh, it is in gross, payable to Mr. X, resident in India. So lottery winning, how much? It is 1 lakh. So lottery winning, if it is more than 10,000, TDS will attract. Next is winning from horse race, rupees 50,000, payable to Mr. Y, non-resident in India. Here Mr. Y is a non-resident. He is earning 50,000 from winning from lottery. If winning from lottery given to a non-resident, then we have to add education cess. Then interest on securities, it is listed, whether it is listed or unlisted, TDS will attract, but we have to see the minimum amount. So, interest on securities payable to Mr. Z, a resident in India, it is 20,000. So, minimum is 10,000. So, TDS will attract for this. Then, dividend payable by a domestic company to B, a resident in India, rupees 40,000. Then, interest on unlisted debentures of Y Limited payable to a resident in India, rupees 10,000. Now, we will see the solution for this. Lottery winnings, it is for resident, how much? 1 lakh rupees. So, 1 lakh into 30%, it is 30,000. Then, winning from horse race for non-resident. If it is non-resident, we have to add EC at 4%. So, it is 50,000 into 30%. 50,000 into 30%. It is 15,000. So, 15,000 plus 4% of EC. It is 15,000 into 4% is 600. So, it is 15,600. Then, interest on securities. It is listed. Listed or unlisted, we should consider TDS. So, how much? TDS on 10% of 20,000, it is 2,000. Then, dividend by a domestic company, it is exempted. Dividend from a domestic company, it is exempted. Then, interest on unlisted debenture. Listed debenture or unlisted debenture, nothing to worry. So, it is given to resident. So, TDS on 10,000, it is 10%. So, it will be 1,000. So, total 48,600 is the TDS payable. Next, we have 6th unit, that is GST. So, GST means goods and service taxes. GST is an indirect tax which is replaced many indirect tax like excise duty, VAT, service tax, etc. The Goods and Service Tax Act was passed in the Parliament on 29th March 2017 and it came into existence on 1st July 2017. So, GST is levied on the supply of goods and services. GST is a single domestic indirect tax law for entire nation. Next, we have types of GST. There are 4 types of GST: SGST, CGST, IGST and UTGST. So, what is SGST? So, SGST means any supply made within a state, the state government will levy the tax, that is called SGST. Then what is CGST? CGST means this is also supply made within a state but central government will levy the tax, that is called CGST. Then what is IGST? IGST means supply made one state to another state, means interstate supply. So, it is called IGST. Then UTGST. UTGST means supply made in the union territories. Supply of union territories. So, it is called UTGST. Next, we have GST rates in India. There are 4 slabs. There are 4 slabs categorized based on the goods and services. So, there are 4 type of tax rates in GST, that is 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. So, what are all the items comes under 5%? So, under this slab, household items are includes like sweets, sugars, spices, tea, coffee, coal, edible oils, etc. are comes under 5% GST rate. Then 12%. Here it is cheese, Ayurvedic medicines, cell phones, fertilizers, etc. are attracts 12% GST. Then for 18%, it is for toothpaste, soaps, hair oil, etc. as well as capital goods and industrial intermediaries. These are all comes for 18% GST. Then for 28% GST, it is for luxurious items like cars, consumer durables, AC, refrigerators, etc. Next we have supply under GST. What is supply under GST? Supply includes sales, transfer, exchange, license, barter, rental, lease or disposal. If a person undertake either of these transactions during the course of furtherance of business for consideration is called supply under GST. Now, we will solve some problem on aggregate turnover. From the following information of Mr. Anil, compute aggregate turnover under GST Act 2017. Sale of goods by Mr. Anil to Mr. Kumar of Mandya rupees 50,000. So, supply includes what? Any sales or transaction. So, turnover, aggregate turnover means we have to find out the supply. That is here sale of goods. Sale means it is supply. Sale of goods by Mr. Anil to Mr. Kumar of Mandya rupees 5,000. So, it is included in the aggregate turnover. Then, sale of goods by Mr. Anil to Mr. Manoj of Mumbai rupees 2 lakh. Here also it is sales. Sales means it includes in the aggregate turnover. Sales means supply. Next, sale of goods by Mr. Anil to Mr. Janit of Bengaluru rupees 1,50,000. This is also included in the aggregate turnover because this is supply. Next, fifth one, it is the goods received by Mr. Anil from unregistered dealer. So, any goods received from unregistered dealer, it is not included in the aggregate turnover. Goods supplied by Mr. Anil to a job worker. So, Mr. Anil is supplying goods to a job worker in Mysore and returned after completion rupees 1,50,000. This is not a supply because here Mr. Anil is supplying goods to a job worker. He will do some process. Then he will return that goods to Mr. Anil. So, it is not a supply. It is not included in the aggregate turnover. Next we have supply of services to Mr. Subhash at 0 rate tax rupees 4 lakh. So, here supply of goods or services, it should be included in aggregate turnover even though it is 0 rate tax. Then sale of goods to USA rupees 5 lakh. Here sales means supply, we have to include it in the aggregate turnover. Then transfer of goods from branch in Mandya to branch in Bengaluru rupees 5 lakh. Here also it is supply. Then the amount of CGST and SGST, it is 5 lakh. So tax payable we should not include it in the aggregate turnover. Here he is paying CGST means central GST and SGST means state GST 5 lakh rupees. So tax we should not consider in aggregate turnover. Now we will see the solution for this. Computation of aggregate turnover. Sale of goods by Mr. Anil to Mr. Kumar in Mandya. This is supply. So we have to consider in aggregate turnover 5 lakh rupees. Then sale of goods by Mr. Anil to Mr. Manoj, Mumbai. This is also supply 2 lakh rupees. Then sale of goods by Mr. Anil to Mr. Zenith in Bengaluru. Sale means it is supply. So we have to take 1,50,000. Then the goods received by Mr. Anil from unregistered dealer. So if it is unregistered dealer, we should not consider in aggregate turnover. So it should be nil. Then goods supplied by Mr. Anil to a job worker. So if it is given for job worker, he will return back. Then it is not considered for aggregate turnover. It is nil. Then supply of services to Mr. Subhash at 0 rate interest. It is supply, but it is not attracts any tax, but it is supply. So we have to take it in the aggregate turnover. Then sale of goods to USA. Sale means transfer. So 5 lakh. Then transfer of goods from branch in Mandya to branch in Bengaluru. It is 5 lakh. Then the amount of CGST and SGST, it is not considered in aggregate turnover. So it is nil. So total aggregate turnover is 22,50,000. Here note is there, goods received or purchased are not considered for aggregate turnover. They are all exempted, zero rated, special economic zones are considered as part of the aggregate turnover. So we have taken here zero rate tax. Then goods given to a job worker not to be included in aggregate turnover. CGST, SGST, all taxes are not considered as aggregate turnover. Next, second problem. Rishi Private Limited has the following details for the year ended 31st March 2019-20. Interstate supply rupees 5 lakh, intrastate supply rupees 15 lakh, non-taxable supply rupees 12 lakh, value of exports rupees 1,70,000, exempted supply rupees 2 lakh, IGST, CGST and SGST rupees 1,20,000. Now we will see the solution. Interstate supply, it is supply, so we have to consider for aggregate turnover 5 lakh rupees. Next, intrastate supply, this is also supply, it is 15 lakh. Non-taxable supplies, so non-taxable supplies means zero rated supply or special economic zones, they are all included in aggregate turnover. So here also it is supply, means it is 12 lakhs. Then value of export, export means it is supply, so 1,70,000. Then exempted supply, if it is exempt zero rate, we have to consider for aggregate turnover, it is 2 lakh. IGST, CGST and SGST means tax we should not consider for aggregate turnover, so it is nil. So total aggregate turnover will be 35,70,000. So this is the basic problem in your GST chapter. In your examination, you can expect theory question on this unit. So, what are the theory questions? You can expect that they are: what is GST? What are the types of GST? What is supply? What are the types of supply? What are the limitations and advantages of GST? What is input tax credit? So, please concentrate these questions on your GST chapter. By this, I would like to conclude revision classes for tax management. So, this is a practical oriented subject. So, in your examination, please try to solve the problem instead of writing theory questions. So, all the very best. Do well in your examination. Thank you so much.